Hey everybody, this is Neil from neilcollins.de and welcome to another video tip. Today I want to talk to you about emails, openings and closings, or openings and endings in an email, and what is formal, what is neutral and what is informal. And this is a really important topic in international business, because sometimes it happens that a friend of mine in Ireland or in Britain says to me, yeah, I got this email from a German colleague and I don't understand why they're being so cold or so distant. And the same thing happens here in reverse, is that sometimes people here say to me, why is this person from this office in New York or from this office in Manchester or Dublin, why are they sending me an email and using my first name? Why are they saying dear Holger or hello Holger? We're not friends, I don't know them, I never met them before, I don't understand why they're using my first name. And the answer to both these questions is related to the style of the email. So when you can be formal, when you can be neutral, and when you can be informal in a business email. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about here. So here I'm going to tell you some ways to open and end an email which are formal. Here I'm going to tell you some ways to open and end an email which are neutral. And here I'm going to open and end an email. I'm going to show you how to open and end an email in using phrases which are informal. Now, most business English emails, or most business English correspondence by email, will be neutral. Sometimes it starts off being formal, but very, very quickly it goes neutral, and then after a few more emails, and certainly if you meet the person, it will go a little bit more informal. Okay, so let's look at what is a formal way to open and to end an email. If you don't know the person that you're writing to, and you write, for example, dear sir or dear madam, then you will end this email by saying yours faithfully. So dear sir or madam, and the ending, yours faithfully. Okay, so you can write it like this, or if you want, you can write it with a comma. But if you write a comma here, you should really write a comma there as well. Okay, so this is formal. When you don't know the name of the person, you write dear sir, dear madam, and at the end, yours faithfully. It's possible that this could be the first email that you send, but it's not very typical. It's more typical in a letter, but in email, it's not usual to be so formal. If you know the name of the person, then you would write, and it's a little bit less formal, but it's still formal. You would write, dear Ms. If it's a woman, so for example, dear Ms. Smith, or dear, if it's a man, for example, dear Mr. Black. And then, if you know the name of the person that you're writing to, you would end this email by saying yours sincerely. One thing I should point out is this thing with Ms. This is basically, it's a similar way to refer to a woman. Here with Mr, here Ms. Don't use what was used before in the past, Miss and Mrs. So it's possible that if you maybe 10 years ago or 20 years ago or 30 years ago, maybe you learned this at school for a single lady and for a married lady. Today it's not really politically correct to use these in email. So if you get an email and somebody signs their name, Miss or Mrs., okay, you can answer it like that. But generally in business and in general life, just use Ms, the MS. So this is also formal, a little bit less formal than this maybe. And it's possible that you might send, with the first email contact, you might use this form here. However, if you write to that person a second time or a third time, normally you will move and you will become more neutral or less formal, and you would just use the first name. So you would say, for example, Dear Mary or Dear Peter. And as to sign off at the end, you can say, for example, all the best, or best regards, or kind regards. And most, as I said, most business emails or business email communication in English will be neutral. Okay, so this does not mean that the person is your friend or the person is trying to be your friend. It's just an email convention. It's neutral and it's polite and it's acceptable. So, you know, most emails, when you're not friendly with the person, you would write Dear Mary, or you would end all the best regards, kind regards. When you have more contact with that person, more email contact, maybe on perhaps the third or fourth mail, then you would make it a little bit more informal. And instead of saying dear, you would say hello. And you would end in a similar way to this, but you could also make this a little bit more informal. So you could say, for example, then hello. Hello Peter, which is a little bit more informal, and then you could end. You can also say here all the best, or best regards, or kind regards. But if you want to make it just a little bit more informal, you could just say best, or regards. You could say best, or just regards. And that's basically more informal. And this is okay. You know, if you have regular email communication with a person you've never met, you can still be a little bit more informal. So for business communication, generally I would aim most of your emails to be in this style here. As I said, starting off, moving very quickly to this. It would probably stay like this for a while, and then, you know, moving a little bit more informal when you know the person. And definitely if you've met the person, and if you have a good feeling with them or good communication, or you're friendly with them, then use this here. After that, you can of course make an email even more informal if you're writing to your friends or family, for example, and then you would say like maybe hi or hey, and then you could end by saying see you or love, you know, if it's a friend of yours, or something similar to that. This is not really so typical or usual in a business email, and in the same way as this is not really that typical or usual in a business email. Most of it should be here. So I hope you found it useful. I hope you can use these in your emails, and if you want more information, then write me an email. Go to my website, neilcollins.de, and click on the information button and write me an email. And keep watching the videos. Thanks a lot. Bye. Hi everyone. If you want to see more video tips like this, just click on these videos here. Go on, do it now.